Hello, and thanks for joining me today for our daily learning time. Today is Groundhog's Day. It's February 2nd, and we're going to talk about groundhogs today. And I think Sue has a special friend with her. Sue, coming out and let us meet your special friend. Is that a groundhog? How cute is that? Well, we're going to learn about groundhogs today. Would you like to hear all about them? Well, can I borrow your groundhog? Okay, well, you go and sit down on the carpet so you can hear, and we'll put the groundhog right over here by our class pet, Fred the fish, and we're going to get started with our letter time for today. We're not learning a new letter today. We're just going to do Groundhog's Day. So I just want to do some reviewing. Can you tell me the letter that makes this sound? G, 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 g. For our letter G, if you watch that video, we took some fun cups and we pretended to drink g, g, g when we did this letter. It's letter G. Letter G makes that sound. Letter G says g, 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 like when you're gulping some liquid in a cup. Well, I want to see if you can guess another letter that's right beside the G in the word groundhog. Listen carefully. Grr, grr. What letter says R? It's letter R. So let's blend these two letters together. G, R, grr, grr. GR says grr, as in groundhog. I have one more. I'm going to put this letter with the letter R too. What is this letter? I'm going to give you a hint. B, 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 b. When we did this letter, we popped bubbles. B, b, b is the sound that this letter makes. What's this letter? B. That's the letter B. And I'm going to put an R with it and see if we can blend these two sounds together. Brr, 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 brr. This is brr as in brown, and that's going to be our color for today. So if you'd like to do a little blending with these consonants and these R's, you can, and you can even add other letters with an R. Blend those two sounds together for your phonics time today. Okay, now for math, I have something pretty cool. We're going to do some predicting. Predicting is like guessing. So on today, February the 2nd, there's a pretty famous groundhog named Phil, Puxatony Phil. And Phil comes out of his home and he either sees his shadow and how cold it is and wants to go back in and hide and sleep some more, or he wakes up and he sees it's a nice day and he doesn't see his shadow and he wants to come out and play. So that's kind of the tradition. If he goes back in and hides, tradition says that means more winter is ahead. But if he comes out to play, that means spring will be coming soon. Of course, after winter is going to come spring, no matter what the groundhog says. It's just a fun tradition in America. We know that God makes the seasons. It's God who tells the seasons when to start and stop and controls the weather, not a groundhog. But it's just something fun that we do on February 2nd. Okay, so I want you to make a prediction. I want you to think, do you think that the groundhog is going to come out and see his shadow and how cold it is and want to go back in and rest and hide? Or do you think he's going to come out and play? Make your guess. Do you think he's going to hide or play? Well, do you want to know what happened? I'm going to show you a video and we're going to see what happened today. This is Groundhog's Day on February 2nd, 2021. And I'm going to show just a quick video and we're going to see if that groundhog wants to go back in and hide or if he wants to come out and play. Let's watch just a little bit of this. There's Phil, the famous groundhog They're knocking on his door. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, let's see. Where's Phil? It looks like Phil is down in his home. He's very cuddly warm in all that hay. I see snow falling. I think it's super cold where Phil is. Do you think Phil is going to want to come out and play or go back in where it's warm and go back to sleep? When he turns Phil around, I'll tell you what happened. There he is. There's Phil. He's looking around and he's seeing how cold it looks. And he wants to go back in and sleep some more. So this morning, when the sun came up, they knocked on Phil's door and he came out, but he looked pretty sleepy and cold. He wanted to go back in and hide. Was your guess or your prediction right? Or did you think he was going to come out and play? Well, that was fun. That was our math time for today. I want to show you a pretty cool sheet. I'll put the link below that you can do with your family. This is a bar graph. And so you can ask everybody in your family what their guess is. Do they think that that groundhog is gonna hide or come out and play? A bar graph works like this. You fill in one box for each person's guess. So let's just say 3 people in your family think he's gonna hide. And let's say maybe 2 people in your family think that he's gonna come out and play. You can easily see that more people in your family thought that he was gonna hide than come out and play. Ask everybody in your family, and maybe you want to do this bar graph today for math. Do some predicting or guessing. Okay, for our shape practice today, I have something really fun. I want to show you some groundhogs, and their heads are different 2D shapes. Let's see if you can help me remember what these shapes are. What shape is this? This is a circle. A circle is round. What shape is this? Diamond. Can you say diamond? What shape is this? This is a heart. What shape is this? Now for this one, we're going to have to do some counting. Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This shape has 6 sides. It's a hexagon. Can you say hexagon? Nice job. Let's try the next one. What shape is this? It looks like a moon, but we call this a crescent. Can you say crescent? Good work. What shape is this? I think we're going to have to count again. Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This shape has 8 sides. I'll give you a hint. An octopus has 8 legs, and this is an octagon. An octagon. Let's try the next one. What shape is this? This is an oval. Oval. What shape is this? Let's count again, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This shape has 5 sides, and it's called a pentagon. Pentagon. All right, let's take a look at the next one. What shape is this? There are 2 sides short and 2 sides long. That is a rectangle. Yes, a rectangle. What about this shape? A square with 4 equal sides. Ooh, what shape is this? A star, and a star has 5 points. What about this shape? This shape looks like a triangle with no top. It's a trapezoid. Trapezoid. Last one. What shape is this? It's a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. Well, now I want to talk about our color for today, and there it is. The color of a groundhog is brown, and that's our color for today. Let's sing about brown. And do you remember right here? I told you that BR makes the sound brr, as in brown. Those are the first 2 letters of the color brown. Let's find out what the other letters are and learn to spell brown today. There is a color we all know. Can you guess what it is? B-R-O-W-N. 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 That's how you spell brown. Well, I have a fun art project for you to do today. We're going to make a little groundhog in a cup. All you have to do is go to the link below and print out the little groundhog printable. But if you don't have the printer, guess what? You can just put the groundhog on the screen, and you can just use regular paper and trace around it and cut it out. I'll put the link below so you can get this cute printable, or you can see it and trace it. And then I colored it brown. Brown is our color for today, and it's the color of a groundhog. And then I just took a paper cup and put a hole in the bottom. And then I put the groundhog on a popsicle stick, and then I let the stick go up and down. The groundhog wants to come up and see how it looks outside, see if it's cold and if he sees his shadow. And then he wants to go back down in if it's really cold and hide some more. So that's a fun art project for you to do today. And if you don't have a paper cup, get creative. Maybe you could use a box. If you don't have the stick, maybe a straw. So see if you can make a little groundhog craft today for your art project. Well, I have a song for us to sing. It's about a groundhog, and it's to the tune of I'm a little teapot. Let's sing it together. It goes like this. I'm a little groundhog, furry and brown. I dig a burrow and hunker down. When it's February, I come out to see, if I want to sleep or come out and play. Let me sing that again, okay? I think I messed parts of it up. I'm a little groundhog, furry and brown. I dig a burrow and hunker down. When it's February, I come out to say if I want to sleep or come out and play. How about I put the lyrics below so you can sing that and learn it later? Well, I have some science for us today. I want to teach you some things about a groundhog. He's a pretty cool animal. God designed a really cool animal when he made the groundhog. Groundhogs are also known as whistling pigs. They make a loud, high-pitched whistling sound when they sense danger. Groundhogs burrow deep underground. That means they make tunnels underground. There's so many tunnels sometimes, it's like a small village under there. A groundhog builds a doorway like this one so that he can go into his burrow. But did you know he usually builds other doorways elsewhere? And those help him to escape. If somebody's chasing him, he can just come out another door and run for safety. Groundhogs can climb trees, and they can even swim if needed. If they sense danger and they want to get away and their doorway to their burrow is nowhere in sight, they can climb up a tree or even swim in the water. Groundhogs hibernate in the winter. To hibernate, that means they sleep all winter long. Groundhogs go into a really deep sleep. Their bodies even rest. A groundhog's heart is usually pretty fast. It usually beats like this. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. But in the winter, even its heart takes a rest and slows down. It might beat more like this. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. It might beat really slowly like that in the winter. Its whole body takes a rest. Well, today I'm going to read our story for story time, and it's about a groundhog who has a sore throat. So let's read it. It's called Substitute Groundhog, and this story is by Pat Miller. Substitute Groundhog. The day before Groundhog Day, Groundhog woke up sick. His muscles ached and his throat hurt. Groundhog felt so awful, he went to see Dr. Owl. You have a bad case of the flu, you do, said Dr. Owl. You need hot clover soup and bed rest for 2 days. How many days? Asked Groundhog. Two, hooted Dr. Owl. But Groundhog Day was tomorrow. Groundhog couldn't let everybody down because he was too sick to do his job. He tried to think of something. On his way home to bed, Groundhog passed the Hidey Hole Diner. He saw want ads from all the neighborhood animals tacked to a nearby tree. Skunk was looking for a roommate. Again, Mr. and Miss Duck were returning north and had their nest for rent. I know what I'll do, Groundhog thought. I'll advertise for a substitute groundhog. By 10 o'clock, a line of animals waited to try out. Great! Achoo! Said Groundhog with a sneeze. Surely one of you can do Groundhog Day for me. Mole was first. You have to go down in my hole, Groundhog told Mole. It's pretty dark down there. No problem, said Mole. My own hole is dark. Mole got comfortable underground. Now come up and look for your shadow, Groundhog shouted. Mole peeked over the edge. His little eyes squinted. Well, Mole, what do you see? Mole spoke to a tree. Is that you, Groundhog? Mole blew his nose. This won't work. I need someone who sees well. I can see well, said a voice from high overhead. Groundhog looked up and saw Eagle. Eagle swooped down. From that mountain ledge, Groundhog, I could see a bit of owl feather stuck in your fur. I'd say you've been to Dr. Owl recently. Wow, then surely you'll have no trouble seeing your shadow, said Groundhog. Climb down in the hole and let's practice. Climb down, said Eagle. He looked at the entrance to the hole. Will there be enough room for me to stretch my wings? He stretched them wide, very wide. Groundhog rubbed his scratchy throat. This won't work. I need someone who sees well and isn't bothered by small spaces. Bear stepped up next. My own cave is snug and cozy. Great, said Groundhog. Climb down and let's practice. This is perfect, Bear yelled from the hole. It's even more comfy than my own cave. Well, come out and take a look, called Groundhog. But there was no answer. Groundhog poked his head below ground. Bear, come out and look for your shadow. But Bear was fast asleep. The only answer was a deep, slow snore. Groundhog was frustrated. He needed a substitute who could see well, wasn't bothered by small spaces, and wouldn't fall asleep. I can do it, I can do it. Let me try. Squirrel bounced to the front of the line. Okay, said Groundhog. Go down into the hole and come back up and look for your shadow. Squirrel leaped in. Whee! Then she popped her head back up. Groundhog said, Did you see your shadow? Oh, I forgot to look. And down she went. She popped back up. She dropped back down. Oh, I keep forgetting to look. Squirrel giggled and she popped up and down some more. This is fun, she said. But what Groundhog needed was someone who could pop up and stay up. By now, Groundhog was feeling even worse. He thought of his warm bed. Would he ever find a substitute? Howdy there, Groundhog. How about giving me a chance? Up stepped a strange-looking creature. My name is Armadillo, she said. You're not from around here, are you? Said Groundhog. Nope, I'm from Texas, visiting my cousin Badger, she said. But I can do this job. I live in a hole, I like small spaces, and I see my shadow just fine, and I'll pop up and stay up. Groundhog wasn't so sure. Armadillo was a stranger from far away. What did she know about the weather here? But she did have all the qualifications for the job. All right, said Groundhog. Let's see how you do. Armadillo climbed down into Groundhog's hole. She poked her head up and looked around, and sure enough, she saw her shadow just fine. If that happens tomorrow, tell folks that winter will drag on, said Groundhog. But if you don't see your shadow tomorrow, spring will come early. Got it, said Armadillo. I think you're just the substitute I've been looking for, said Groundhog. You're hired. Thanks, said Armadillo. They shook paws. Then Groundhog climbed down into his hole and into bed. He sipped his warm clover soup. He plumped his pillows and tucked his sore self under the flannel quilt. The next morning, the animals gathered early to hear what Armadillo would say. It was cold and crisp as the sun peeked over the forest. Badger served hot chocolate. Squirrel bounced up and down and cheered for Armadillo. Hooray! Eagle flew high above the trees, and Muddy Mole looked sleepy. Oh, and Bear was still in bed. The animals grew quiet as Armadillo poked her head up and carefully looked around. There, on the ground, she saw the shadow of her tiny ears and pointy nose. 6 more weeks of winter, she announced. Armadillo dropped back into Groundhog's hole. Did you hear that, Groundhog? Said Armadillo. 6 more weeks of winter. Oh, Groundhog groaned from his bed. How you feeling, Groundhog? Armadillo asked. A little better, but I'd feel a lot better if it was spring already, Groundhog said. Spring already, said Armadillo. Say, that gives me an idea. Armadillo found Groundhog's suitcase. Get your gear together, Groundhog, she said. It's already warm in Texas and you can come home with me. Really? Said Groundhog. He imagined himself rolling in warm grass instead of achoo, sneezing through 6 more weeks of cold. You betcha, said Armadillo. Groundhog jumped from his bed, grabbed his teddy bear and his toothbrush, and tossed them into his suitcase. I've always wanted to see Texas. Do you think they have cowboy hats in my size? Asked Groundhog. Sure as Texas is a lone star, said Armadillo. Together they walked through the cold to the bus station, and their shadows followed them all the way there. Well, it was fun to have Groundhog's Day together with you during our daily learning time. Now we know spring is coming no matter what the groundhog says because God controls the seasons. But it's fun to kind of read about the groundhog and think about, how much cold weather do we have left before spring comes? I hope you had fun today, and I'll see you tomorrow for a daily learning time. Goodbye.